But the abuse you could see if somebody was a painter, and he just kept bringing his home water bill and dumping in paint and chemicals.
Where you're saying you have them, do you have a record of, like, whether we have one resident going once a month, or you're saying this quarterly record?
Yeah, I don't, on the quarterly report, I don't see duplicate names.
Okay.
They're all different.
Years ago, when I was in White Settlement, and it obviously could have changed, you could only do 1 or 2 a year to the Fort Worth.
Oh, really?
Yep. But
Is this the place over off of Bridge Street in East Fort Worth?
Yep.
Yeah, when I lived in Fort Worth, I thought you could only do it so many times a year.
You take trash and stuff as many times as you wanted to.
Yeah, but the waste of the hazardous material, they mark you, whenever you live, when I lived in Fort Worth, they marked you. So if you like, let's just say 2 times a year, after you did it 2 times, if you were if you did it your 3rd time, they would charge you if they tell you you couldn't do it.
When I was on the lab, you help others do it, and you get some, we were doing remodeling, I was hauling stuff all the time. Yes.
Covers that concern.
They weren't all hazardous stuff.
I mean, I think it's obviously a good program, and if sure as we don't have it, then people are gonna try to shove it in a black trash bag and sneak it out anyway, so it's good to, just kind of cost of doing business, I think.
Garbage truck and.
I'm surprised there's 2 people a quarter that would, that's pretty, they go to the effort of going out there, really. The more concerning thing to me was, they're saying, projecting that the next year it may be $200 a head.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is a limit, I think, and I would think $200 would.
In that case, do we just limit it to the Crudmobile? So we'll do the Crudmobile once a year or whatever.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, we
Or just
still
look
would
at
be
the amount,
expensive.
I think,
The bad thing is, if you take 1 little can of paint, that's 1.
I know, yeah.
Or if you take 50
I know.
gallons, it's 1.
It's 1,
Very interesting.
So really, when the Crudmobile comes here, if we kind of knew it, it would pay to have neighbors kind of collect their stuff and take it.
Oh, we do that already.
One per block.
And then I get up here and they tell me they're closed, but that's okay. So we'll go to the back of my garage for another year.
Yep.
I didn't even know I could go and do all this. So,
I would wait till we have our Crudmobile here, and then I don't have anybody to help me.
and
I go in my garage.
Marvin, what action were you needing on this?
Well, I'd like to continue on with April 1st, and if you don't want to do the contract after that, that's fine, but we've already got it set up for April 1, and it'd be a good thing to continue going on, period. Most every city says it's the best way to go, but they don't like it because we came in and bid you. None of us do.
Are funds within the budget to do it?
no, but.
What does that matter? Gotta have it.
If you can't pay for it, you don't do it.
And then we'll come back before you, because once we have the agreement.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna pay either way, either they're gonna take it there, or they're gonna dump it illegally. If they wanna get rid of it.
Make a motion to approve the increase to the household hazardous waste cost from Fort Worth Environmental Collection Agency.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the increase for Fort Worth for household hazardous waste collection. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Item number 18 is to consider approval of resolution number 1099-2023 authorizing continued participation with the steering committee of cities served by Encore and authorizing the payment of 10 cents per capita to the steering committee to fund regulatory and legal proceedings and activities related to Encore Electric Delivery Company. So we typically, we interact with the steering committee on these things so that we don't have to go to the cost of fighting them, their rate increases individually. So those come before us pretty steadily through the year. So this is just authorizing that we would continue participating with the steering committee, which is, it's what everybody does. It's mostly a
Oh,
housekeeping thing.
so that makes it okay.
Hmm?
It's what everybody does.
That's what I was taught at
We're
Texas.
leaders, not followers.
If you wanna pay Betsy to fight Encore for us, it's a lot more.
Yeah, you don't wanna do
Yeah.
that.
Move to approve resolution 1099-2023.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve resolution 1099-2023. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye. No opposed, motion carries. Item number 19 is consider approval of ordinance 1369-2023, amending the 22-23 fiscal year general fund budget by expanding the event center budget for personnel salaries in account 01-533-5111. Martin, you want to take this?
I
Martin?
only put in the budget to do this as a part-time position, because when I talked to her, that was what it was gonna be. Well, this guy came along and he gave me about Social Security, he couldn't work but part-time, but now he can work full-time, and that's what he'd rather have, and with so much, they say, going on down there, they need a full-time employee. And we figured it out, to balance it out for the remainder of this year would be an increase of $18,000. Which told you I wouldn't be back with anything like this, but it's either that or we just tell him he's part-time and that's it.
What's going on? What do you
Okay,
mean,
so-
what's going on?
My first question is, who authorized him to move his work hours from 24 to 40? Because no employee does that without the authorization of their supervisor. So who is his supervisor, Shirley Wee, or you, or Gordon?
It was me.
Okay. So you authorized it, or he just started, I'm assuming that he started doing it?
No, I talked to the mayor and authorized it because we did not know if that had sold his experience and what he had, his expertise in doing something down at the Masonic Lodge was going to be very beneficial to the city. So I did approve that, but I did talk to the mayor.
But Martin, let me ask you, let me just jump in a second.
Sure.
When you say you talked to the mayor, under the city manager form of government, I don't know why you're doing that.
I understand that, I just try to, respect everybody's decision.
He just let me know I didn't
Yeah.
approve it or deny it or...
Right, I'm just saying you would have no more authority than we would.
I think he just wanted somebody else to know.
So, I'm just gonna bring up several things, since this is all event center, okay? So they're already taking us almost $90,000 in the red this year, alone, okay? This is averaging every single year, $80,000 to $90,000 a year. So now, they've had this budget since October, although I understand now, I thought they just did it because they wanted to. So if they were under the impression that it was approved, then that kind of changes things a little bit. But now, we have an event center that is going to take us about $128,000. Do the math for me,
Well,
someone.
I mean, the only thing I would say to that is, how much money does our park make? I mean, we do have things that make money, and then we have things that are services.
So, I've never seen a single report of what this employee does at the event center, of meeting, and empty, it's empty 2 days a week. What are the things that he does that,
Need him to be there 40 hours.
yes.
Well, and I'll let Marvin take that more. Traditionally, they've had a dedicated employee over the years, and it's one of those things that sometimes a couple of times they've had somebody that lasts for a while, and other times that it's a very brief thing.
Did he work partially for the park and partially for the city mowing?
I don't know, the last one,
The only difference, in the past was the gentleman that was over, he mowed the outside properties. He does now, this one collects the trash on a daily basis, and he assists with the mowing. Our park team comes, and he comes out and he works with them as they mow.
right, I mean, it's stuff, I mean, they typically have a dedicated employee. It's somebody that's, if they're not doing it, Public Works is gonna be doing what they do. I mean, they're...
No, I understand that, but we're talking about 2 acres and a building that is already, sinking us. So we knew that going into October, and we amended the budget, we cut it down. Marvin said, I won't be coming back to you, but then, without coming through approval and seeing what other ideas we could come up with.